welcome to the channel. Today we are at Gilks for the Weird Car Twitter meet, and I'm going to hand over to Jake to do the car bits because it's beyond me.
Yes, today we are on location here at Gilks Garage Cafe in Warwickshire. We start off then with this beautiful Mark III Ford Fiesta. You can tell it's a Mark III. Big old door mirrors, the little kind of indent along the front bumper, also the fact it's F-Reg, so it's quite an early Mark III Fiesta. Shares a lot with the Mark II underneath. Absolutely love these things. I love the shape of them, I love the offset Ford badge. They're just brilliant little cars, these. In fact, this corner here is quite interesting because just down there is a Renault Megane hatchback. And the funny thing is, at some point, in a different timeline maybe, I could have had one of these as my very first car. Somebody I knew had one, and then just before I started to learn to drive, they scrapped it, unfortunately, because there's a load of issues with it. But if things have been different, someone's honking their horn over there, I might well have ended up with one of these as my first car. But alas, it was not to be. I ended up with the saloon version of that, but the pre-facelift version, because this is a post-facelift version. And this is an S-Reg Ford Focus. It's one of the earliest Focuses you can get, I believe. Is that plural, Focus? Focuses, or is it Focus or Foci? I'm not sure. Either way, these things, absolutely brilliant styling on them. Some of the best handling Ford ever built as well, supposedly. I've never driven one. That's just going off what the motoring press have said about them in the past. I'd love to give one of these a try. This one's in fairly good condition actually for S-Reg. It lacks rust around the wheel arches, which is fairly common for any 90s car really, to say the least. If you've ever seen my Renault, that may be a prime example of that. Bit of lack appeal on the roof, but nothing major with that. Good buff, that'll bring it back, I'm sure. Yes, Renault Megane, this is the post-facelift, which doesn't have the shark nose anymore. It's got a more rounded and smooth one, with a little bit of a moustache in there. Again, good looking little car. It looks tiny though. You think of this as being a big car, and in a way, I guess, if you look at them next to a smaller car of the olden times, they do look quite big, but compared to modern cars, they look quite small. Citroen C5, big old headlights. Ooh, quite a lot of luxury in there. Their seatbelt clips actually look quite similar to the ones in my Renault. Sorry, just nerdy things there. It's a HDI 420 SEC Mercedes, this one. This is absolutely gorgeous. Got a roller blind in the back. 3-door. Walnut dashboard, I think, is it? I think it's walnut. Look at that. Fiat Panda 100 HP. You know this one, it's mine. And many of you will know this car as well. Belongs to Steph of iDriver Classic. Proton GL L-Reg, so I think it's 93, if memory serves correctly. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments below if I'm right or wrong about that. Let's have a look in there. All the little dials. Only unleaded will do. Toyota Paseo, we saw this one at the late break show meet. There's Martinet. Citroen Xantia, got the XUD engine, and of course the suspension that raises up when you turn the car on. An MGF, clearly being heavily waxed. Love the badge, clearly well kept, this one. The Mini Cooper S convertible. I like the little phone mount in there actually. Lovely colour. And this here is an Alfa Romeo 145. I believe it's a 1.7 with a Boxer engine. Just have a look in there. You all love the Italians with their quirky styling. Look at the way the dashboard bends in and curves. Bit of rust poking through in various places. Little pop-out rear window that continues basically all the way around. It really gives that effect. The little bumps in the hatchback. And of course that's what we're here for today. Hashtag Weird Car Twitter. This means throwing up some really good cars so far, and we're only just begun. Behind my 100 HP, you've got this lovely little 2011 Fiat Panda. It's a dynamic. And funnily enough, if you look on the number plate, it says available car, and that's where my Fiat came from. Just hidden there behind the Fiat-y bits.
I might put it instead the available car sticker. I don't want it to be associated with that brand.
I've just commented on that, and he says he doesn't want it associated with. Whoops. But yeah, it's a nice little car, this one. It says on the V5 apparently that it's purple. Came with the roof bars as well. Lovely looking car. Aston Martin V8 Vantage leaves noisily. Rover 416 SLI 16 valve. Of course, these things obviously very closely related to Honda products of the same era, because of course Rover and Honda, massive partnership together. Got a sunroof, roof mounted aerial. Lovely little thing this. Classic hubcaps as well. Of course the Viking longship on the badge. Over here is an Audi 80. It's a 2-litre E. Audi cap in the back. Lovely colour. What reg is it? M reg, so 94, 95-ish. Lovely spec actually. Just have a look inside. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Automatic gearbox. Next to it, two Renault A310s. Also known as the Alpine A310 in other markets, but here it's known as a Renault. It's a GTA V6. And next to it, another one. It does say Alpine on the back with a massive badge. Of course, Alpine these days in Formula 1, taken over from the Renault brand. So of course, I'm going to be interested in these. Lovely colour. They're good looking cars, these. Just have a look at them from the front. We can quickly go around there. Yeah, good looking little car. Anyway, it's very busy here, lots of people here for this meet today. Just before it leaves, Honda S660. Tiny thing though, it's a little key car. A Volvo. It's an S40. I'm not that clued up on my Volvos, I'll admit, but it's got a modified exhaust. Plenty of people interested in these sort of things these days. Big Swedish brick. Headlamp wipers as well. Lovely thing. Little Saab here. And look, there's even a Sinclair C5 in the background. Pop band colours here with this wide array of art and design and stickers. Would love to get one of his pieces one day on possibly the Mini and the Caravan. The Comma Cobb, good old fashioned service, Gilks Garage Cafe, because of course where we are now, this used to be a car sales garage and petrol station at one point. It obviously no longer is. Sorry, a Supra's just turned up. But yeah, the Gilks family, they turn it into a cafe, and this is their little advertisement vehicle. Oh, no worries. Elle's just here for a good time today. Rover 100 with much towing goodness. Just look at that interior though, it's so classical. Massive steering wheel, wing mirrors, actual wing mirrors. That Honda sounds good. There's an E-Type with 4 seats. These, as far as I know, are quite rare things. Usually they've only got 2 seats, but this one, no. 2's not enough. You need 4. E-Type Jaguar, 4.2 litre. Love the styling of the rear lights on this. Let's have a look at this whilst we're here. Tornado Naked, Benelli. I'm not sure who makes this bike. Oh, it is Benelli, that is actually the brand. Never heard of them myself. So apologies any Benelli fans. Nice little bike this, quite like it. 125, yep, 125cc. Tiny wheels. It kind of reminds me of the Honda Monkey bike. I know it isn't quite the same thing, but it reminds me of. Caterham Super 7. Those look like the lenses from a Mini. They probably are H-Reg, so it would not surprise me at all. It's the same age as my Mini, which is not here today. Just looking there, tiny steering wheel, of course, very sporty, tiny gear shift. The switch panel all looks very familiar, as it all looks to be similar to the Mini. K&N air filters. If we go and have a look over here though, the Citroen Goddess, the Day S. Just look at this thing in all of its glory. If we get down low, yes, look at that. Left-hand drive as well, of course, that quirky one arm on the steering wheel type thing. These are lovely machines. A D Super. Looks very tall from the back, doesn't it? Here's probably my favourite car of the show so far. The Renault 4. It's a GTL. The fog light is hanging off, but that doesn't matter. It's a right-hand drive one as well. You don't see many of these in right-hand drive these days. I think the last time I saw a Renault 4 was probably at the Wilton Wake Up in 2018 for one of their car meets. Oh, and it's got yellow bulbs as well. That's very French and very, very cool. Look at that. Classic Renault badge as well. Look at those seats. It's a fine example of a Renault 4. What else we got? Fiat 500. Citroen Saxo. When was the last time you saw a Saxo? And a VTR Saxo as well. It's been ages since I last saw one. These things used to be absolutely everywhere, but they seem to have faded away like many other cars of this sort of era. Probably through to, or due to crashes and corrosion amongst many other things. But yeah, a bit of a survivor here. Let's check nothing's going to kill us as we cross the road. Audi Quattro, this one. Let's have a quick look around. It's also an 80, just like the green one that's just there. M-Reg again. So we've got 2 of these. This is the 2.6. Have a look in here. Oh, and it's a manual. I bet that's fun. Lovely little Audi. A Vauxhall Frontera, is it? I'm not quite sure. It is a Frontera, yes, there we go. 3.2 litre V6. It's been a while since I've seen one of these, which I wasn't quite sure if it was what I thought it was. I believe a lot of this is shared with one of Isuzu's vehicles, because of course Vauxhall being owned under General Motors at the time this vehicle's production, Isuzu was another brand owned by General Motors, so it makes sense that they just share parts amongst different brands in different countries. Basically sell the brand in whichever country you think is going to do the best. And next to it, a glorious little Rover SD1. So look at that, this has clearly been very well kept. Let me look at the interior, the carpets, just everything. Those shiny wheels. I imagine we've probably seen this already as a previous show. Maybe BMC and Leyland show? I'm not quite sure. It's a 2600. I love the way the exhaust folds round. But these aren't the only other cars here. There is a bit of an overflow car park as well because so many people have turned up. If we go over here, there's even the sign there saying more parking for Gilks. So Genevieve's gone over and checked that out. But before we go over to her, MGB GT with steel wheels. Bold choice for an MGB GT. Usually they're on wire spokes, but not this one. And just here, is that a Supra? Yes it is. Carbon fibre rear wing. Stuff's coming and going from here all of the time. Of course, a lot of this shared with BMW these days, the parts. I think they're a good looking car. And also, before we head over to Genevieve in the overflow car park, what do we got here? It's the C5 we just saw moving around earlier in the video. Of course, these things were produced mid-80s. I think it was 1984 or 85, the first ones came into production. Plastic body designed by Lotus. Manufacturing done by Hoover, who of course make vacuum cleaners. Quite a bit of 3D printing going on this. The masts on here, they're 3D printed. The lock, the little mechanism in there, that's 3D printed. Drainage holes. I'd love to have a go on this later on, if the owner will let me, of course. He might not. But I love these things. It's had a disc brake upgrade on the front as well. Usually they're just little V grips like bicycles all the time. I imagine the wheels slightly larger as well, probably 14 inch possibly. Or it might be just a 12 with a brake, I'm not sure. I think there's 60-inch wheels on the back of these. But yes, the owner of this, I was speaking to him earlier, does have a cover for the front wheel, but it's currently in the boot. And what that does, along with these rear ones, is provide aerodynamic works. So that means then when you're on the move, less air gets in the spokes, which means then you get a greater range. So it's all about increasing the range on it, because of course it's a recumbent bicycle but with electric aid. It looks like it's got a twist throttle as well. Usually these have a little button you press once you get up to a certain speed, but this looks like it's had a bit more. Yes, anyway, I've rambled on enough about 80s bicycles. Let's head over to the overflow car park.
Got a new Toyota Yaris 21 reg, driving with Nico's Mini Cooper, Skoda Roomster, Alfa Romeo 3316 valve, I like the green, BMW 44i, Mini JCW, Lexus LS200 Estate Sport Cross. And moving over here, we've got a 2017 Fiat Panda, and then one of my favourites that I think of like newer cars is the BMW i3 electric car, the Renault Megane RS in liquid yellow, Mitsubishi Grandis, another Alfa 33, Skoda Kamiq, which is a fairly new SUV, Ford Focus over by the bin there, getting towards the end of the pre-facelift Renault Megane Scenic, and a Mustang 5-litre V8, a white Panda with black bits, a Nissan Micra with almost 110 horsepower. Whoa! Back to the middle, a Seat Leon 20 valve turbo, Toyota Corolla T-Sport, Toyota Land Cruiser, MGF, which is a slight size difference here, a Honda Accord 7th generation, BMW 3 Series, and the last one, oh bye!
And before we bring this video to a close, look at what's just turned up. This rat rod style VW T2, also known as the camper. Look at those wheels, so neatly tucked in. Look at that. table in there. This thing is awesome. Just look at it. Rusty VW badge for effect as well. It's had an AA 5-star service. Awesome. Love this. And that was a bit of an overview of the Weird Car Twitter car meets here at Gilks Garage Cafe. And I think we've had a great turnout with this, actually.
It's been absolutely fantastic.
We've had quite a variety of cars, actually. Classics, fairly modern, even the most modern, sporty, electric, even a Sinclair C5. Brilliant. I love the C5. I really want to have a go in that.
Yes. Is it gone?
No, it's still here. It's just hiding around the back somewhere. But yeah, I've enjoyed this one, and I hope you have too.
Time to go and warm up.
I think it is, yes. It is very cold. It wasn't meant to be at all cold or rainy today, but it has been. It was meant to be sunny. But again, no. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below, let us know what was your favourite car here. As I said earlier on in the video, I think my favourite is this. I love it. I want one. I can't add it to the collection, I haven't got any space. And of course, if you want to see more car-based content, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because there's plenty more of it coming up on the channel throughout this year and beyond. Ooh. Anyway, that's it for now. See you in the next video. Until then, farewell.